After years serving his country, a local Air Force veteran was back home, but soon discovered some of the wounds of war followed him. He was diagnosed with PTSD, a hard diagnosis to accept. Then, during a walk through Fontenelle Forest, a new mission came to him. And as Omaha World Herald visual journalist Ryan Soderlund shows us, it helped heal him while he helped others.
Over the head.
Yep.
I got back from Afghanistan in 2011, and it wasn't until 2012 that I really started to realize that I had some issues going on. It started with nightmares, being what they call hypervigilant. You know, I was constantly afraid that something bad was going to happen to my family, those around me.
He's made it pretty easy for you.
Okay. There we go.
You got it?
I really didn't want to say those feared letters, you know, those 4 letters PTSD, because that wasn't me, you know. I don't have PTSD, I don't have anxiety, depression, that's not me. And it wasn't until years later when my friends, they came to me and said, hey, you need to go talk to somebody. And after a couple months, I finally talked to my wife and said, you know, what do you think? And of course, being my wife, she says, I think that's a good idea.
It's just really
swollen. It's really swollen.
I mean, here, come here and feel the shoulder up here.
Coming out to Fontenelle and just walking, and one day I came out here and I just walked. I decided I was going to go look at the birds, and I've always loved Charlotte, peregrine falcon. She's gorgeous. And one of the docents came up to me and he told me Charlotte's story about how she had been injured multiple times and brought in, and you know, they fixed her obvious physical injuries and then they released her again. And finally they realized that it wasn't just physical injuries, she had neurological issues and she was very blind. And it kind of hit me. I was like, so she had invisible wounds, like the term that the Air Force uses, the invisible wounds of war, the things that you can't necessarily see, but they're very real and can really weigh down on your life. And just made a connection with Charlotte, and it really hit me that, you know, she raises education awareness, she raises money through people paying to come in and see her, and she still has a life to help. And why can't I?
I like my eyes the way they are.
Yes.
It's the metaphorical parallels. When I think of the raptors as being the Air Force in the wild, you know, you've got eagles and falcons, and they're birds of prey. They continue to do their job to hunt until they absolutely can't. They can have issues, but they don't let anybody know of those issues unless they're so severe that they can't do anything about it, because otherwise they become prey themselves. They are no longer the hunters. And it just really hits me that, you know, I was the same way. I hid everything that I could until I couldn't function. And that the only way that they can really get back to the way that they need to live their life is they have to lean on somebody that can help them, because they don't know what their issues are. They don't understand. They're scared, they're hurt. They don't trust anybody around them when they're, you know, I didn't. And I had to be willing to let somebody else help me, which was tough at first. And it's tough for them at first. They're very scared when people pick them up. But by the time that they get released, a lot of times they trust Betsy. They trust the people out there in Elmwood, and I trust my therapist. I see their recovery, and it helps me understand my own.
Have you ever seen feet on a owl?